Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the descending pain pathway. Descending pain pathway. Now, before discussing, let's overview this pathway. Now, the descending pain pathway basically travels from brain to spinal cord. Okay. So this is the basic overview of the descending pain pathway. Now, the descending pain pathway is a pain modulation pathway. It is a pain modulation pathway. Okay. What does this mean? This means it controls the pain, controls the pain intensity. So whenever brain receive pain, it will give feedback to iterate pain intensity. So this will be ascending pathway and this will be the descending pathway. So the overview of pain pathway will be like it travels from cerebrum, okay, to midbrain, then pons, then medulla, then to the spinal cord, that is dorsal horn. This is the pathway. Now before discussing the descending pain pathway, we should know the major functions of midbrain, pons, medulla. Midbrain, pons and medulla. So in midbrain, it is associated with visual and auditory reflex, dopamine production, which is done in the substantia nigra. Pons, it associated with the sleep and arousal center, hearing and balance, respiratory brainstem center, and chewing center. Okay, respiration centers are in both pons and medulla. In medulla, it is associated with respiration, swallowing, coughing, vomiting, sneezing, gag reflex, and vasomotor center. These are the basic functions of different parts of the brain. So as discussed previously, the pain pathway travels from cerebrum to midbrain. So in middle there is a PAG area. Here this is the commanding center. This is the commanding center of the descending pain pathway. Okay. So from this area, the sensation goes to the nucleus, locus coeruleus nucleus in the pons. From here, the pain goes to the RBM nucleus and then finally to the dorsal horn. So the pain analgesia command is like given by hypothalamus, limbic system, okay, and cerebral cortex. Cerebral cortex. So this area suggests the pain analgesia signal. All this signal reaches to the PAG area, periaqueductal gyrus. Okay, so here these signals are received. Now these signals are excitatory signals, like the chemical mediator. Here is the glutamate. With this chemical mediator, this area is get stimulated. So until now we learned that the PAG area stimulate pons and medulla region. Okay, in pons and medulla region. Okay, in pons the things are a bit more simpler. Norepinephrine pathway. Using this pathway, inhibition signals are traveled, and in medulla region, like there were three subunits: nucleus, magnus, raphe, pons cells, and off cells. Okay, these were the three regions. Now these regions send the inhibition signals, 5-HT inhibition signals. Okay, now the PAG region, like it will inhibit this on cell and it will stimulate this off cell. Now this mechanism is like local mechanism, like it does not involve any chemical mediator, but like you have to just remember this. There is a local pathway, some circulatory pathway, which will stimulate this off cells. Off cells will induce analgesia, like inhibition. It will send the inhibition signal, and inhibition of on cell will stop the pain. Okay, so indirectly the overall result will be inhibitory signals. Okay, from here, and from pons also there are inhibitory signals. Now both the signals from pons and medulla, okay, from both this, like it is norepinephrine and this is 5-HT, both this will reach the dorsolateral funiculus and finally to the dorsal horn of spinal cord. Okay, so we should know this dorsolateral funiculus also. What is this? It is a area in the spinal cord, as we have discussed the anatomy, the cross-section area of spinal cord. Here is the white matter, this is the gray matter, central canal. Okay, so like these regions are named, this region is named as dorsolateral region, this is the lateral funiculus, this is the anterior funiculus, and the area, this one is the posterior funiculus. Okay, so this way the funiculus, so this inhibitory signals travels to this dorsolateral funiculus and finally reaches to the dorsal horn of, this one is the dorsal horn of the spinal cord. Okay, now finally the inhibitory signals, these are the inhibitory signals they reaches to the dorsal horn of spinal cord. Okay, so this is the dorsal horn. Okay, this is the dorsal horn of the. So now the dorsal horn of spinal cord, now it is gushed with the inhibitory signals. Okay, so if we zoom this part, dorsal horn of the spinal cord, we will see the connection of dorsal horn. We will see the connection of first order neuron and the second order neuron. Okay, we are going to see the connections. This is the first order neuron and this is the second order neuron. Okay, so now this is the region of the dorsal horn. Now in this region there is a specific region in the dorsal horn of spinal cord. Okay, like this 5-HT and norepinephrine, it will stimulate that particular region. It is called as inhibitory interneuron region. Okay, if you go in further detail, it is located in the lamina 3 region of the dorsal horn. Okay, so this, like we have already discussed this, like dorsal, the gray matter, anterior horn, posterior horn. This is the dorsal horn. Okay, central canal. So it is like they have divided this dorsal horn in various lamina 1, 2, 3. So like in the third region, it is it have the inhibitory interneuron. So this newcomers 5-HT and norepinephrine will stimulate this region, and this region has the inhibitory interneuron, and then it will excrete three more inhibitory component. One is enkephalin, okay, the other one is GABA, and the third one is glycine. So these are the three component which are further secreted. These are also inhibitory chemical mediators, and these were also inhibitory chemical mediators. So finally the whole region of dorsal horn is filled with the inhibitory chemical mediator. Now these inhibitory chemical mediators, they act on different region of first order neuron and second order neuron. Like this has various receptors, this also have various receptors, so they stimulate the different receptor accordingly. We are going to see this in the next slide. So now the dorsal horn, this is the first order neuron, and this one is the second order. Okay, now we will highlight this first order and this is the second order. Now it has receptors. Okay, first order have mu receptor in major amount. In minor amount it is present in the second order neuron. Okay, this is regarding the mu receptor. Regarding the GABA receptor, the GABA receptors are present majorly in second order, like GABA A and GABA B. GABA A and GABA B, these are present in the second order neuron, and GABA A, this is present in the first order neuron. Okay, the glycine receptor GR, the glycine receptor is present in the second order neuron. Okay, so this is how various receptors are present in the dorsal horn of spinal tract within the junction of first order neuron and second order neuron. Now enkephalin, we already discussed that initially there were only two newcomers, norepinephrine inhibitory pathway and 5-HT inhibitory pathway. They further stimulate the region, lamina 3 region, okay, inhibitory interneuron, and then it secretes the three inhibitory component. One was GABA, one was glycine, and the other was enkephalin. Okay, so enkephalin will act on mu receptors. Okay, enkephalin will act on mu receptors. The glycine will act on glycine receptor, and GABA will stimulate the GABA A, GABA B. Okay, so first order contains GABA A and second order contains GABA A plus GABA B. So GABA receptor will act this way. Okay, so this is how we need to know. So like now the further actions will be shown by the mu receptors, GABA A, GABA B, and glycine receptor. So we will look how these mu receptors, GABA receptor and glycine receptor further send the inhibition signals. The mechanism, how this will again initiate the inhibition. Now how the mu receptor, how the GABA A, GABA B works, how the glycine receptor work. So this is the first order neuron and this is the second order neuron. So we will first look how the mu receptor, okay, I will write it like this, in first order neuron works. Okay, so the mu receptor in the first order neuron, when it gets stimulated, when this gets stimulated, it will decrease glutamate and substance P. Okay, so when these are excitatory chemical mediators, and when these are decreased, it will reduce the excitation. In other way, it will induce the inhibition. So like inhibition is induced. So the other one is the mu receptor in the second order neuron. So mu receptor in the second order neuron, how this will act, it will increase the potassium efflux. So if more potassium is excreted outside, it will produce hyperpolarization. Okay, so hyperpolarization will again give the inhibitory signal. This is about the mu receptor in the second order neuron. Now the GABA A receptor. We will discuss the GABA A receptor in the second order neuron. Okay, GABA A receptor in the second order neuron. Like it will do, it will open the calcium channel. Okay, so again it will do the hyperpolarization and do the inhibition. Calcium channel open, increase in the negative ions, again inhibition. Now the GABA B receptor. The GABA B receptor in the second order neuron, how it will act. This is a little bit confusing, but like stepwise we are learning. It will again do the same thing of efflux. It will do potassium efflux, and again it will do the hyperpolarization, and it will send the inhibition signal. Then the GABA B in the first order neuron. Okay, how it will act. It will decrease the calcium influx. So decreasing the calcium influx will again further induce the inhibition. So finally the inhibition signals are further sent from dorsal in the dorsal horn of spinal cord. So this is the mechanism how these two people overall do the inhibition in the dorsal horn of spinal cord, and this is how like the descending pathway of spinal cord work.